all here. It's also quite enjoyable actually to see that so many of you have made it despite of the rain. So maybe before I get started, to introduce myself, I'm Carola Schönlieb. I'm a professor here in applied mathematics, and I'm also the director of the Cantab Capital Institute for the Mathematics of Information, who is together with the Newton Gateway for Mathematics hosting this event here today. Before I tell you a little bit about the Cantab Institute, who of you has not heard of the Cantab Institute or doesn't really know what it is? There are few. Ah, okay. Actually, I'm seeing lots of familiar faces, so most of you know. But just to say a few words about it. So the Cantab Institute has been founded 4 years ago by now, I think, out of a very generous donation by Ewan Kirk and Cantab Capital Partners. Cantab Capital Partners are a local hedge fund here in Cambridge. And I think they've done a very forward-looking step in actually giving us a substantial amount of budget to create this institute, which is a collaboration between our two departments here. So the Center for Mathematical Sciences, which is just basically over there, or actually encapsulates all of the Newton Institute and also the library and our center over there, is made up of two departments. One is Applied Mathematics and Theoretical Physics, DMTP, and one is Pure Mathematics and Mathematical Statistics, DIPAMS. And those two departments got together to collaborate on this institute, which hosts research, very broadly speaking, on various mathematical topics, various mathematical areas, who are developing theory and methodology to understand information in data, to extract information from data, and to maybe also simulate information in data. And so while this seems very broad, we are looking at mathematical themes like probability theory, topology, numerical analysis, PDEs, quantum information, and so on. The common denominator for all of those people in the institute is that we want to develop further the theory and methodology, mathematical methodology for data science. And so I think what makes us a bit different to maybe other data science institutes is that we are a bunch of mathematicians, and really very good mathematicians. Sorry, I don't want to say this about myself, but about all of you, who are very passionate about developing really rigorous mathematical methodologies that, algorithms that do not just give you 0-1 answers, but that give you answers that come with some certainty or uncertainty, that also can tell you how accurate you believe your answer is, and that might also tell you how long the algorithm will take to actually compute an answer to a certain accuracy. And I think what the Institute really did over the last years is to bring all these different types of mathematicians very, very close together, and to really exchange and collaborate. At the heart of this is really the young generation, is lots of people who I can see over there, are the PhD students. So a core component of the Cantab Institute is the PhD student training. We just had our 4th cohort starting in October, and they are really trained to be, to have this holistic point of view on mathematics, to get to know different areas and different topics in the mathematics of information, with the idea, with the philosophy that in order to really understand how AI, now I'm using this AI word, but how AI works, it's important that these different mathematical areas are collaborating. So we have, at the moment, I think, maybe about 40 PhD students or something like this in the Institute. We have faculty members from both departments affiliated with the Institute from all these different areas that I've just mentioned before. We have 2 particular Cantab lecturers who are Alberto Cocker, who is a statistician, and Hamza Fafsi, who is an optimizer. And then we also we're quite outward facing in the sense that we really, on a very frequent basis, invite lots of people from all over the world to give short courses, to give seminars and things like this, just to also give the students an opportunity to pick up what is going on internationally. So how can you get involved in what we are doing? So first of all, the PhD students and the PhD student training is a very good way to do that. We have industrial seminars. We have research projects, external projects that the students can work on. Funding a PhD studentship is, of course, also a very, very good way to get involved in what we are doing. And then another thing that I think has been a very good way to engage and to test out some maybe initial ideas that you have is our CMP program, so the Cambridge Mathematics Placement Program, which now I have to look at my notes not to forget something that Stephanie told me to say. So this is a program in the Faculty of Mathematics. It's a matchmaker between companies and Cambridge math undergraduate and master students. And it's a program that runs over the summer. So these are summer research projects that you propose if you're coming from a company. And that you're supervising is usually 8 to 10 weeks or something like this, that the students are working on this. And if you want to know more about this program, first of all, the call, I think, Stephanie, I'm looking at you, will come out very soon. It went out already. Okay, so if you want to know more, now you know who Stephanie is, so please talk to Stephanie or Artie. Is Artie here as well? But you're here. Very good. Okay, so please, if you want to know more, talk to her. Okay, so without further ado, I think we have a very interesting program ahead of us, which is really meant as an exchange between telling you what we are doing here in the Institute, but also learning more from the challenges and also maybe some of the solutions you have already in place for solving some of these math of information challenges. So I'll hand over now to Camilla Schelpe, who is from Cantab Capital Partners. Just also say a few words.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Camilla Schelpe, or Schelpe, depending. I don't actually know how to pronounce it myself. It's Flemish, so Schelpe, Schelpe, Schlepp, you name it. So I was actually a PhD student here back in the day, many years ago. I was over in Pavilion B, so kind of way over at the upper side of the department. And it's really lovely to come back and have a reason to come back and sort of see how much has changed, but of course, being Cambridge, how much really hasn't. It's still the same as 7 years ago when I was doing my PhD. So I'm one of the senior scientists, we call them scientists at Cantab Capital. That's a systematic hedge fund based here in Cambridge. It's using scientific and sort of computer algorithms to try to get returns in the financial markets. And it uses a variety of methods. There are lots of traditional scientific methods, or traditional financial methods of capturing returns, and then also more blue sky ideas. And with the founding of the CCIMI, one of the really nice things about it wasn't saying that the donation should go towards something that's then specifically financial research. It was actually deliberately wanting to be much broader, much bigger scope, and thinking more just about mathematics, and particularly mathematics dealing with large data sets. And in this day and age, actually in the world of AI, machine learning, big data, I think it's really sort of key, because that's where the creativity, where the new ideas that are going to be a little bit different will feed back into whatever application it is in industry, whether that's in finance or elsewhere in sort of healthcare, medical. And so I think actually since the founding of the Institute, it couldn't have been better than we'd hoped, insofar as it being really a sort of cross-disciplinary approach of getting people from different fields, different approaches, and sort of linking them together so that something that works well in one industry can then potentially be applicable elsewhere. We've been really lucky to have lots of interactions with the students, many joint conferences such as this, also hosted back in the Cantab offices, and seeing that kind of us talking about our ideas within finance and then hearing what the students are working on as well has been really beneficial. We've had our recent research jam, which was based in the Cantab offices, getting the students come over, giving enlightened presentations of the work that they're doing, and hearing about how they're approaching problems and talking a little bit and getting some inspiration for how we might be solving things from that. We've been really lucky having a number of the students coming and doing placements with us, looking at different approaches. For us, it's really nice to think of the more blue sky research ideas, which maybe as a researcher at Cantab, we don't have the time to look at ourselves, but which is quite self-contained. It could lead to something really cool, really interesting. So we had Andrew and Ollie, that one of the PhD students here, coming in and looking at weather data and seeing if weather data and how that disrupts shipping and the delays to the shipping can then actually feed through into changes in commodity prices. And so that was kind of cool, blue sky. Is it going to work? Is it not? And it was very much using some of the big data applications that they'd thought of. I'm aware we should be pressing on with the talks, but just one final thing I think that we've been really impressed by at Cantab, seeing the PhD students, is how collaborative they are, how much they're supporting each other and building together and really forming a community. And I think that community that ties the PhD students together and gets everyone else involved is a real testament to the ethos of the institution, how well it's been set up. So thank you very much for coming, and we'll start the first session.